Today, I'll be sharing with you 5 fragrances that I've been using heavily this fall. Stay tuned. Hey guys, John here. Today we're talking about fall fragrances. In particular, 5 fall fragrances that I've been using tons this season. So what makes an ideal fall fragrance? I think it really depends where you live. I've mentioned before that I'm up in New England, and during the season, sometimes temperatures are warmer, sometimes they're a little cooler. It's a little bit of state of flux. So for that reason, you can expect some of my fragrance choices to reflect that. Some of these might lean on the brighter side to cover the warmer days, but really in a fall scent, I'm looking for something that's warm, a little spicy, a little sweet, and in particular, tobacco is one of the notes I look most forward to in the fall season. Alright, so that's a little bit of background of how I went about choosing these 5 fragrances. Alright, so let's move on to the first fragrance. First up we have Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme. Alright, so what I love about YSL L'Homme is that it's perfect for covering those transitionary days between the hot and cold weather. The notes of bergamot and ginger here make the scent both bright and warm at the same time. This is a scent I really enjoy. It's one that's great for really any occasion, perfect for office wear, perfect for kind of crowded spaces. It's classy, professional, and it doesn't have the best projection or longevity for that matter, but I think in the kind of settings that we're talking about, you don't want to be overpowering or offensive to those around you. Now, because it's on the lighter side, you don't really have to go easy on the trigger on this one. I go about 4 sprays on average, but you can definitely up it if you're going to be outdoors or spaces that you don't have to be so concerned about, other folks kind of being in your scent bubble. So second on the list, I'll be talking about L'Occitane Eau de Baux. Now for Eau de Baux, cypress, incense, and vanilla are the strongest notes for me on this one. Now I really love this scent, especially if you're gonna be outdoors, because something about the woodiness, the sweetness, it's really nice. A fall walk, fall hike, maybe even some apple picking. For whatever reason, Eau de Baux paints a picture in my mind of a walk through a New England forest where the leaves have already begun turning. They're red, yellow, orange, even starting to brown, and all over the floor, leaves are crunching. It really enhances that feeling and that memory. Although not the strongest sprayer, it's still good enough, and about 2-3 sprays is what I go for. Now while I picture the outdoors with this scent, I think Eau de Baux can work perfectly fine for a date night scenario. I think the vanilla in this scent really helps dress it up if you so choose. Next up at the number 3 spot is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. So this Chanel on this list covers a need for a sporty fragrance, an everyday fragrance. I really think this is an easy reach when you're not sure in the morning what you want to wear. I really enjoy the Chanel Allure line in general, and I think this one just has versatility. Let's take a look at the sprayer in this one. It's a very, very strong spray. I think the note of tonka in this one brings both sweetness and longevity to what would normally be a very fleeting scent. Now while you'll find citrus and aquatic notes in this one, you won't find a lack of performance at all. The only season I wouldn't reach for this one is the summer. So the tonka note and that sweetness, while it's good for the cooler months, it could be really cloying in the high summer heat. Wetshavers, if you're just dipping your toes into the world of fragrance, this is definitely ones I would recommend checking out at your local mall, at a Sephora. Get a sample if you can. If you're working with a small fragrance collection or just starting on your journey, this one is going to be your Swiss Army knife. Next, for the number 2 spot, we have Dolce & Gabbana The One. Alright, so now it's time for a little story. Back when I was just getting into fragrances a few years back, watching a lot of YouTube videos, doing a lot of research online, Dolce & Gabbana's The One was one of the scents that really stood out to me in its description. And upon visiting my local Sephora and checking out a few of these fragrances that I had researched, Dolce & Gabbana's The One was love at first smell. So everything that I was looking for in a fall fragrance, on top of that, a date night fragrance can be found in The One. The warm tobacco note in here is one of my favorite things about this scent. Let's take a look at the sprayer. So I definitely have some very positive associations with this scent. The memories I have associated with The One are very happy ones. I was just starting out on my fragrance journey. In general, when I get into something, I do a deep dive. I research every nook and cranny, looking at multiple reviews, being exposed to this whole world that I knew nothing about. Now what I have is the eau de toilette concentration, and It's been known for having performance issues. It doesn't last very long, but I think for when you can smell it, about 3 to 4 hours on my skin at least, it's really enjoyable. If you're looking to try this out at this point, I definitely recommend checking out the Eau de Parfum. It has better performance. It does smell a little different. If you have a chance to compare both, I mean, maybe do so, especially if you're sampling. But in the end, this scent works for me. You know, I have obviously my nostalgia for it, and it's a great scent if you're looking for something for a date night, something for the fall. I couldn't recommend this one enough. All right, so last but not least, at the number 1 spot, we have Parfums de Marly, Herod. Now Herod, I recently spoke about this fragrance when reviewing Declaration Grooming's Massacre of the Innocents, which is a dupe of this scent. You can check that video out here. Here's the sprayer. Very nice, even strong spray. So Herod's gonna be a fragrance that I not use only for the fall, but for the winter as well. It's got all those great things about a fall fragrance that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It's warm, it's spicy, there's tobacco in it, and there's some sweetness to it. With the pricier scents like this one, I started off with a 10 milliliter decant that I got off one of the Facebook groups, and after kind of sufficiently using that, I really wanted to go all in on a bottle. There is something to be said about the thrill that one can get in doing a blind buy, but I think when you're talking about bottles that are over $100, $200, I'm not going to be blind buying anything like that. But back to the scent. So Herod, I've just really gone to again and again. I would say that this has beast mode performance, as it lasts about 8 hours on my skin, maybe more if I also spray my clothes. I absolutely adore this scent, and I'm so glad that this has also been picked up in the wet shaving world. All right, so that's my list. Those are the fragrances that I've been wearing a lot this fall. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What makes the ideal fall scent for you? Also, what fragrances have you been using this fall? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at latherhog. I hope you found this was helpful. Take care, and I'll see you next time. If we take a look at the sprayer on this one, okay, nothing.